Hi there everybody, and welcome to the first week of the GuitarQuest 4 lessons. So although this is the first week of GuitarQuest 4, this is actually week 65 of the GuitarQuest course. So yeah, we've covered quite a lot of ground so far. Yeah, we're just going to push on. We'll carry on where we left off, from book 3. All the old lessons are available on my YouTube channel, so if you're tuning in and you happen to come across this video, then do go and check out the older ones, because there's a lot of useful information that just helps build you up so that what we do today hopefully is all manageable. So before we get started, just a couple of things. So if you're on a device that has any notifications and that kind of thing, then please turn those off if you can. We'll give ourselves this undivided guitar time. If there's any children watching, then I'd suggest have an adult in the room just to help explain things as we go. And I've got the chat function available on the left, so if you have any questions or comments, please do fire away. Just be aware that you need to have subscribed to be able to post. I think that's pretty much it. So we'll kick off with tuning. So building on from last week, we talked about tuning the guitar by ear. So although I've tuned my guitar up prior to this, I'm going to just sort of go through it as if we were going to be tuning it by ear. So we're going to work on the assumption that the bottom E string is all good. So just try and make sure you're in tune with that. And then from there, to get to the A, we're going to go to the 6th string at the 5th fret. We play that, and then compare our 5th string to it. Hopefully they sound the same. One thing, I don't think I mentioned this the other week actually, but I wouldn't suggest doing that kind of thing, playing the two notes very close together, because you won't really hear the difference. It's kind of, for me anyway, I need to kind of almost hear it, let the notes settle, then play the next one, and then I can kind of hear whether it's in tune or a little bit off or whatever. So anyway, that's our A. So then to tune D, we're going to go up to the 5th string, 5th fret on the A string, the 5th string. So we play that note, that's our D. Should be the same as the open 4th string. Okay, and then we go to G, so we go 4th string, 5th fret. Hopefully that's in tune. And then we go to the B, so 3rd string, 4th fret. And then that's what open 2nd string should sound like. And then we go to the 5th fret on the 2nd string, which is our E. And compare that to the 1st string. So remembering that our fretted note that we're playing, in theory that's the correct one, and we're adjusting the open strings to come up or down to that pitch if needed. So yeah, and then from there we would just strum a couple of chords. So perhaps take a C, maybe a G, and we're just listening out, like, does anything sound off? So D, whatever chords you want really. It's always good to try a few different ones, and just try and listen, like what sounds right, what doesn't. If you're tuning by ear, it's very easy to get one a bit off. So strumming a few chords is always a good idea. Cool. Okay, so as we're starting GuitarQuest 4, let's just have a quick recap on posture as well. The main thing being, try not to let that guitar slide away from you like that, because then your left hand has to work so much harder because it's got to come round a lot further. So try and keep the guitar upright. For the kind of more modern kind of sounding posture, if you're playing more contemporary styles, then guitar with right leg is your best option. If you want to go more classical, you've put the guitar over your left leg. I've got a footstool on the floor which just raises either leg up depending what's comfortable. So we talked about that way back in GuitarQuest 1. So if you're unsure about that, go back and check those older videos, and that will talk you through that. But yeah, typically, like for these lessons, I'll just raise my right leg up a little bit, have the guitar on the right leg, and then we go from there. So yeah, just try and make sure it's comfortable. Try not to let it slide away. That's kind of the key thing, I would say. So, oh, and the other thing, try not to let the neck dip down. We always want it to be sort of level or ideally slightly pointing up. You know, that angle is great if you can get it. Like if you hold the classical posture, you'll probably get to that angle. If you don't and you're just holding like this, it will probably be more like how I've got it. So just a little bit kind of, if that's horizontal, I've just got it slightly up a little bit. So cool. Okay, so that's kind of recapped you know, tuning and how to hold the guitar. So because today is the first of the GuitarQuest 4 series, I just want to bring that up onto the screen just for a second. So hopefully if you're watching this, you have a copy of GuitarQuest 4. This is what we're going to be working on. Obviously it builds on everything we learned in GuitarQuest 3, well, and 2 and 1 as well. And with that in mind, actually, just bring that back up onto the screen, we are going to start off just by looking at the just the kind of review of the notes that we've covered, so the treble notes and the bass notes. So if I just get rid of that for a second. Okay. So looking at those treble notes then, we're going to start on the G open 3rd string. This is effectively going to be our warm-up. We're going to work our way up to the A 1st string 5th fret. So this is not any kind of scale in particular really, so it might have a slightly odd sound to it, but yeah, if I just demonstrate, so we're going to go G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then just try and reach the pinky up. You'll have to move your hand up a little bit. You won't be able to probably stretch. I think you might be able to, I suppose, but you don't need to, I suppose is what I'm getting at. So okay, so let's try it. So starting on G, and actually we'll come back down as well. So once we get to that A, we hit it once and come back down to the G. Okay, so here we go after 4. Okay, so 3, 4. B, C, D, E, F, G, reaching up to the 5th fret, back to the G, and back down. Okay, cool. So that's those are the treble notes. We obviously talked a lot about those in GuitarQuest 1 and GuitarQuest 2 to a certain extent as well. So hopefully they're pretty comfortable for you now. So let's have a go at the bass notes. So this one we're going to start on our bottom E and we're going to go up to the F on the 4th string at the 3rd fret and then come back down again. So we first talked about most of these notes in GuitarQuest 2, so obviously we're on GuitarQuest 4 now, so hopefully these are reasonably familiar to you by now. However, typically I found in my learning, or my teaching rather, experience, that you know, people, when you start with these notes, they're always the ones you know best, and it, you know, learning the bass notes just takes a little bit longer. Sometimes some people find it really easy, some other people, like, it just takes a little bit longer to kind of really get to grips with it. So but hopefully you're okay with it, so let's try it. And you can use, on the right hand, you can use your thumb to play them, or you can go the index and middle fingers, whatever you prefer really. So okay, here we go. So starting on the E, so after 4, so in fact after 3 I should say, I just noticed time signature is 3, 4. So here we go. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Open A, B, C, D, E, straight back down again. So that's kind of all there is to it. I say all there is to it. Like I say, if you've been doing the rest of the course, hopefully that's all okay. So yeah, we're going to be pushing on. So just a couple of other bits just to bring to your attention on that page. So notes in the space, spell the word face. That can be worth noting if you find it tricky to read some of the notes. So that first space there is the F, then that would be your A, C and E. And then the line notes, starting on that E there, we've got Every Good Boy Deserves Fruit. There's several other ones that you might come across if you Google it, like notes on the line and mnemonic to kind of help remember them. So you've got E there, G, good, B for boy, D for deserves, and F for fruit. So yeah, they're just things that can help with reading the notes. And then we just got this little bit of extra information just to remind you: the sharp sign, the flat sign, and the natural sign. Again, all covered in previous books. Roman numerals tell you what position to align your first finger of your fretting hand at. And we've got a glossary of musical terms and chord shapes towards the back of the book. So, let's move on. So at the end of GuitarQuest 3, we started talking about semiquavers. So they can also be called 16th notes. So semiquavers is a more traditional kind of terminology. So you've got crotchets are 1 beat notes, quavers are half a beat, and semiquavers are 1/4 of a beat. So just to demonstrate, we'll have a go at this together in a second. If our crotchets are like this, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then quavers would be sort of twice as many, 3, 4, and then semiquavers. So that's kind of the idea. So every time we add a beam, so again, I'll just bring the music back up on the screen. That's a crotchet there, so where you've got the dot with the single line. When we start joining them or beaming them, we have to play them twice as fast. And so here with the semiquavers, where we've got another beam, we go twice as fast again. So that's kind of the logic that happens in notation anyway. So okay, so we're going to try it together, exactly what I just played. So we're going to do 4 crotchets, then we do 8 quavers, and then 16 semiquavers. And if you wanted to use any words to help with the timing, you could say tea for the crotchets, coffee for the quavers, and semiquavers you could say caterpillar or Coca-Cola. Yeah, so we'll go with caterpillar and see how we go. And I'll say a few of those words as we go. So, okay, so starting on our crotchets. Remember, with our right hand, it's going to be quite important when we get to the semiquavers that we want to be alternating these fingers. So your index, middle fingers, something called walking fingers. Yeah, otherwise, you could probably manage to play semiquavers at that speed for what we're doing today. But in your general development and that kind of thing, you want to be trying to get that technique down as best you can. So, okay. Let's try it. So we're just going to play the top E string. So after 4, okay, so 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 quavers, coffee, coffee, 3, 4 semiquavers, caterpillar, caterpillar. We're going to repeat. So crotchets, quavers, and semiquavers. Cool, okay, so it's a fairly simple exercise doing that sort of thing, but it just gets you used to the idea of what you're trying to do. And obviously we just played it on a top E string. You could try it on any of the other strings. Arguably playing on a top E might be slightly easier because you haven't got any other strings getting in the way. So for example, if you're on the B, not that your technique with your right hand fingers should change, but you don't have to be quite as careful with when you're playing the first string. But ideally, like I say, the technique should stay much the same. So we want to try and keep that steady. So yeah, when you're practicing during the week, try different strings, different notes, whatever kind of comes to mind really. So, okay, and with that, we are now going to get stuck into exercise 1. So it's called conversation. So I'll just bring this music back up onto the screen again. So with this one, we've got a combination of crotchets and quavers and semiquavers. So we're starting on the E's there, crotchets, then we've got our quavers. That's a tie, so remember that means we don't play that note there, but we hold the C to the end of the bar, so it's sort of, you kind of add that note value to what you play here. Same kind of thing in the second bar, and then when we come to the third bar, this is where we've got the semiquavers, and so we've got 4, they're all just the same note, all a D, and we've got a crotchet on a D. So in terms of the semiquavers on this particular tune, what I've tried to do is keep them so that our first sort of foray into semiquavers in this book is just staying on the same note. So as we progress, we'll start moving on to different notes, but as you can imagine, when you're playing faster, if you start changing notes, then the coordination has to match that. So by just keeping it on the same note, hopefully we can kind of take the challenge out of part of it. So, okay, so exercise 1 then, I'll just play you through the first line. So we're going to start on the top E, so be, then, so there are our quavers, same again, then the semiquavers, and the semiquavers again. Okay, and one thing to notice as well, again, I'm just going to bring the music back up onto the screen. So when we play the first bunch of semiquavers, I've suggested you start on your index finger. So you go index, middle, and then here, middle, index, index. And that would be because if you continue the pattern through, index, middle, there'll be index, middle, index, and therefore the next one would logically start with the middle finger. Now you don't necessarily have to do that, because you do have time to get back onto the index finger if you want to start that second bar of semiquavers. However, it's also a good idea to not become reliant to sort of always push off on the same finger, whether that's index or middle. You know, I think everyone's going to be different on that. So yeah, just trying to start with the different options and try and get as comfortable with pushing off with either one, basically. So okay, so that's the first line. Then the second line, we start off the same kind of thing as the first line, slightly different notes there. Back to the semiquavers. See, like we're just hanging on that D for a few semiquavers there, so hopefully, as I mentioned earlier, that'll keep it, you know, can keep the challenge down a little bit. And let's come on to the third line. We've got the dotted crotchets. Remember, that's 1.5 beats, so it's going to be 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then we have our DCL coda instructions. So that DC tells us to go back to the beginning, play until we see the words DAT coda or to coda, or in this case it's DAT coda, but in other books you might see it as to coda or just coda. So then at which point we drop down onto the final line and play bars 13 and 14. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. So we're going to try playing it together, a nice slow speed. So just do your best to try and join in, see how you go. So yeah, good luck everybody. So I'll count us in, I'll go 3 and 4 and, so we're going to take it nice and slow. Here we go. Okay, so 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then the semiquavers. And again. For second line. So 1, 2, back to the beginning. Semiquavers, and again, second line, semiquavers again, to the coda, last line, and then we finish on the C. Okay, cool. So hopefully that made sense. Hopefully you could play along in places, if not all of it. Yeah, if you did, then give yourself a pat on the back. That's really good. It's a great achievement if you managed to keep up with that, especially with the semiquavers. So let me put the song on so you can have a listen, and I'll bring the music up on the screen and point along as to where we are. So here we go, the recording. Hope you like it. Okay, cool. So that is the first song from GuitarQuest 4 Conversation. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully it's not too tricky. Yeah, see how you go. See how you get on. In terms of backing tracks, they are available on my YouTube channel. So one little thing, currently how I have my YouTube page set up is you can only have a limited number of playlists on the home page, and I don't think I could fit this playlist on. So you've got to actually go to the playlist tab now, and then you should find it in there. I've got the first few exercises, I think the first 12 there at the moment, and the others will be going up shortly over the next week or so. So that's exercise 1. So one of the little things I've just covered at the bottom of that page there is just a note about time signatures. So with time signatures, we can have them as simple or compound time. So we'll talk about the differences later in the book, but just so you know, everything we've done so far has been in simple time, which just kind of means we're thinking in terms of crotchets basically. So yeah, I say we will get onto that later on, but it's just a kind of a comment there, just to give you a heads up that that's something that we'll be considering later on. So let's turn the page, and we'll have a think about the first part of exercise 2. Now, hopefully you have the latest version of the book, the first edition, if you like. I realised the last line of exercise 2 was missing. So the second edition now should have it. So I don't know if we'll get onto if we'll get through the whole thing today, but it gives you, basically you want to make sure there's 4 lines that you're looking at on exercise 2, which is called Friday Blues. So with this, we have semiquavers again, and again, if I just bring the music up onto the screen. Sometimes when we're playing guitar, to make it easier to play faster notes, we might play hammer-ons and pull-offs and that kind of thing. So on the first couple of lines here, we've got So we're looking at this bar here, we've got D to E and then again D to E, and we're going to play them as hammer-ons. And that's going to be the same kind of logic for the first 2 lines. So if we think about that, so it starts off with our bottom E, then the B, then open D, then E, back to E and B, and then we're going to do the hammer-ons. So we're going to go. So remembering, we spoke about this in GuitarQuest 3. So again, if you're a bit unsure about them, just go back and revisit those. It is a technique that can take a while to get to grips with, so don't worry if you're not quite there with it yet. Just try and persevere with it. The usual things to watch out for are that you're maybe not pushing down quite hard enough with the finger, or maybe not, if you move it in too slowly, the sound might just kind of disappear. So it is a sort of hammering kind of action, hence the name. So we do D to E as a hammer-on. So we play the D, hammer on with the middle finger to get the E, and then we do it again. Okay, so just that first bar then. So you've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. The second bar is the same, and then the third bar is a similar kind of idea. We're going to start on the A, so we've got open 5th, E 4th string 2nd, open G, then A, then it sort of repeats, A and E, and then the hammer on G and A, like that. So let me play the first line just so you can hear kind of a bit of continuity, I suppose, the way of describing it. So, okay, here we go. So we're going to go, so 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, so we might leave it there in terms of how much we're going to cover today on this particular exercise, but what I'd like to do is attempt to play it together. We'll go a bit slower than that actually, and yeah, just see how you go. So it's the same kind of pattern that's being replicated, so hopefully it's kind of making sense anyway. So let's try it then. So after 4, we'll slow it down to this kind of speed, like something around there, okay? And I'm using my thumb and my right hand to play all these notes because we're generally all on the lower strings, so typically we're going to use the thumb more so for that. Okay, so here we go then. So after 4, so 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, so that is the first few bars of exercise 2 and Friday Blues, and I think that's probably going to be a good place to leave it. We'll have a listen to the full track next week, because obviously our intention will be to get to the end of exercise 2. But yeah, I think see how you go. Hopefully this idea of semiquavers isn't going to be too daunting or anything like that. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see or hear about how you get on. So, but yeah, we'll finish up there. So things to practice this week then. I would suggest as a bit of a warm up, just go over the note recaps that we had at the start of the book. Yeah, so we can run up and down, up to the A there, and then the same. Use that as a bit of a warm up. You go up and down them a few times, you know, just get the fingers moving, that kind of thing. And then have a go at exercise 1 and the first 4 bars of exercise 2 and see how you get on. Like I say, that's going to be a good place for us to finish up for today, I think. So thank you very much for tuning in. I do appreciate it. And so I'll see you next week. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you find either of the exercises nice and easy, then feel free to record yourself, tag me in it. It'd be interesting to hear how you're getting on with it and see how it's going. And otherwise, have a brilliant week, and I will see you next Thursday. Okay, take care then. Bye bye.